Hi everyone, my name is Rajat and I am here to talk about what are the trends in crime in Dallas, a data story that narrates change over time with a pinch of contrast. The analysis will help senior citizens, single moms, new would-be homeowners, students, and especially tourists traveling to Dallas, and various non-profit social organizations and Dallas Department itself to find some emerging crime patterns in the Dallas area. And as we know, in this age, crime affects people. It can have a devastating effect on them mentally, economically, and even physically. Although the crime, it's difficult to predict if we are affected by crime, but there we have family, we have friends, and we have acquaintances that can be affected by crime. So it makes sense for us to be aware of our surroundings, to know about the area where we live in or our neighborhoods, if there is any prevalent crime that exists in that area. And this dataset that we use, we got it from Dallas Open Data Portal, where actual crime incidents were recorded by police, and we use that for our analysis. Moving on, and here we can see it is a monthly chart of how the crime trend looks in Dallas from year 2014 till 2022. I just want to let you know that the data gathering by Dallas police started in mid of June. That's why we can see lower incidents in number of June. But we can see a considerable rise in crime during 2018 and it keeps on rising. And then we went ahead and we thought to find out what would be the 10 or 15 most prevalent crimes in Dallas that top the list. And surprisingly, we found out that the most common offenses or the most number of offenses were related to motor vehicle crimes. A theft of motor vehicles, whether it is unauthorized use of motor vehicles. Public intoxication also topped the list, and we had criminal mischief, robbery of individuals. Moving on, we tried to find out next what would be the commonly used weapon to commit a crime in Dallas. And then we found out uh, what are the common areas where a person transits through in their day-to-day life, like convenience stores, retail stores, shopping malls, drugstores, highways, streets, apartment complexes, commercial properties, school, theater, or college. And we found out that handgun is the weapon of choice when it comes to commit a crime in Dallas. And the highest crime occurred in streets, highways, alleys. Schools, religious places, and banks had a comparatively lower rate of crime. And interestingly, tribal lands have the lowest crime incidence over the past 6 years. Then we did a contrast of what would be the top 10 friendly and top 10 deadly neighborhoods in Dallas. And here we can see that the safe neighborhoods of Dallas, they had a relatively low crime rate of, I mean, they had an average of one crime in the last 6 years. So this goes on to say a lot about those neighborhoods. Whereas in different in the deadly neighborhoods of Dallas, they had a varied crime rate. But there was one which stands out, which is 1400 South Lamar Street, with 2,567 incidents, and it tops the list. Since we had the data of the last 6 years, we did a forecast of the data for next 5 years to find out to see how the future looks for Dallas residents. And here we can see that crime incidents show an consistent upward trend, and the crime would actually double in 2024 from 2029. And as we know, Dallas has become a new hotspot for more companies which are moving, we are changing their headquarters from California and they are moving to Texas, to Dallas, Houston, Austin. So the number, as the people increase, the crime rate will increase. There are various factors associated to that, but it pays best to be prepared for the uh, upcoming migration of people that is happening. And here we could say that in 2020, we are in 2020 right now. The crime events are almost 60,000, and we are not even completed half the year. So the crime would still go up. And then we could see that motor vehicle robberies, coupled with vandalism and public intoxication, are at the peak of the list. Handgun was found to be the prominent weapon of preference to execute crime, and surprisingly, hands and feet were also used to commit crimes. We excluded some we excluded some data from the data set due to privacy and security concerns, and due to some laws. We couldn't say who were the people who were affected by sexual crimes, juveniles who were under age of 17 years or less, some property items that were still considered evidence, social service reference offenses, and identifying vehicle information certain offenses. So we had to exclude that from our data set. And there were some few recommendations which we could suggest for our target audience: senior citizens, gender diverse people, single moms, non-profits, police department. The recommendation would be as follows: that Dallas Police Department should work more closely with Motor Vehicles Department plus various vehicle dealerships to find a way to deter motor vehicle theft, as it was the most common theft in the last 6 years. And to control the handgun, the execution of crime by handgun, because it was the main cause of weapon used to commit a crime. Maybe a thorough check of the background of each and every person whom a new permit is being issued, and maybe and also checking for how to check for illegal weapon sales in the neighborhood, how to check for the earlier permits that were issued, and maybe installing more CCTV cameras in crime areas, alley streets which are deserted, or parking lots where we know that crime has happened in the past and it keeps on happening. So maybe having police shift, do a more scan of the area regularly, or creating more safe neighborhoods, that could be done. And last but not the least, citizens need to be well aware and informed about what is happening in their area. They need to know at least that which are the crime sensitive areas, because it, as the proverb goes, that prevention is better than cure. It always pays to be remain, when a person is alert about his surrounding, maybe he can prevent crime happening to him or to any other person. And this is what I have. Thank you so much. And if there are any question and answers, thank you so much.